Michael Bennett, the chair of the DC Board of Elections, and I'm here just to announce the launch of the partnership between the DC Board of Elections and Nextdoor, the application that will, I think, connect voters to one another, voters and candidates, and our opportunity to connect with voters on a much more consistent and regular basis in a way that really tells voters and gets them focused on what is happening in their local neighborhood. I happen to have Nextdoor in my neighborhood, and I am on Nextdoor, and I get lots of emails every day from neighbors that are looking for painters and sharing nannies and those kind of things. Some things I'm not interested in, but some things I am. So it's a great app. I was happy when I heard about the partnership, but it's a great app to really focus on local issues and matters that are important to individuals in their neighborhood and even down to their particular block. We get lots of great information over Nextdoor in my neighborhood. So we're really excited about the opportunity that we have at the Board of Elections to be able to partner with Nextdoor and make sure that our voters have the opportunity to connect with one another over issues, but also to connect with us. For instance, we have today we're going to make a last minute, not because of us, but because of circumstances, change in a precinct. So we'll be able to communicate over Nextdoor to let people in that particular precinct know that their voter location is going to change from one place to another. And at the last minute, that is really exciting and gives all of us a chance to avoid frustration and communicate in a much more effective and meaningful way to voters than we've ever had before. So this is really exciting. We are, I think, leading in this area. We're probably the second, third, fourth.
Yeah, in this area, yeah, you're right up there.
We're the first on the East Coast, and I think
first partnership.
First partnership on the East Coast, and probably one of the first in the country, I think, maybe third or fourth.
First in the country.
First in the country, okay, great. So as usual, DC is leading and people don't even know. So we're going to tell them on Nextdoor that we're leading the charge on this. But it is incredible how oftentimes, social media is used for negative purposes and purposes that are not so good, but it is important. It is an important way that people communicate these days, and it is where people are getting information. And so it allows us to connect faster, quicker, much more efficiently, and much cleaner. So we'll have an account, and we'll be able to connect with people accordingly. And folks will be able to connect with one another and talk about issues and talk about things regarding candidates and regarding issues that will certainly impact how they cast their ballot. One of the things that I really hope for, and we talk about all the time, is how can we do more and more to increase voter participation. At the end of the day, we're the tip of the spear of American democracy. And it's important that everybody participate in this process. So if we have a chance to give people more information, and if that more information and the opportunity to kind of talk about that and give people information about what's important to them, if that takes them to the voting booth more often and more consistently and in larger numbers, then that's incredible. So we're happy about that. We believe and are hopeful that that will also increase voter participation as well. So with that, I don't have any other major issues. Would you guys like to make a comment? So great, thanks.
Well, hello everyone. Thanks for having me today. It's truly an honor to be here with the chairman and of course President Chiron. We are so excited to announce this first of its kind partnership with the DC Board of Elections. Voting is obviously a critical part of citizen engagement required to build strong communities, and Nextdoor is increasingly the forum for neighbors across the nation to engage with each other around pressing local issues and to connect with their local officials. For those of you who do not know, Nextdoor is a private social network for the neighborhood, now in over 170,000 neighborhoods across the country. Nextdoor is unique in that it's real people at real addresses, and moreover, Nextdoor is a broadcast model, not a follower model, so when the DC Board of Election posts information into the Nextdoor account, every single person within DC on the platform will see it. However, Nextdoor neighborhood conversations will remain private to verified neighbors and the DC Board of Elections will be able to see only the replies to their posts and private messages that the neighbors send directly to them. With 3,000 public agencies now active on the platform, we continue to see more and more residents turning to Nextdoor to come together to take local action, talk about local pressing issues, and of course, spark change locally in their home communities. This is precisely why we're so excited about this partnership today, which is going to help engage local residents in an even more efficient electoral process. Today, nearly 95% of DC neighborhoods are using Nextdoor to connect, communicate, and be there for each other. Now, during this primary season, the DC Board of Elections will be using Nextdoor to communicate directly with residents about pressing election details. Messages on Nextdoor will update voters about the changes coming to their elections and provide reminders about early voting dates, times, locations, and registration deadlines. Nextdoor will be used as a tool to keep voters informed on their eligibility to vote and educate them about the specific contests and initiatives on the ballot this year. Like I said, at Nextdoor, we are committed to building safer and stronger communities across the country, and we truly believe that engaged residents are at the heart of community building. As the DC Board of Elections process evolves to meet the needs of the voters across the DC area, we look forward to partnering to help educate the public about the process of democracy. I want to thank you all again for having me here today. And I'll have you come up too.
My name is Kathy Sharon, and I'm very proud and happy to be president of the League of Women Voters here in DC. And with me is Linda Softly, who is our vice president for voter services. So she's the face that most of you have seen at many of our voter registration rallies and programs. Since 1920, the League of Women Voters has been a staunchly nonpartisan, activist, grassroots organization whose leaders believe that voters should play a critical role in democracy. Our mission initially was to help 20 million women carry out their new responsibilities as voters. Today, we remain committed to helping all citizens exercise their right to vote, to assisting voters to make decisions and making sure our elections remain free, fair, and transparent. Our volunteers have been behind some of the most important voting reform victories in recent years. We continue to advocate for compliance with the Voting Rights Act and the National Voter Registration Act, which help millions of Americans access their right to vote. In addition to voter registration, voter engagement, and voter turnout, we have been working toward full rights for DC. Many of you know all about our struggle for statehood. The League of Women Voters has long been recognized as a premier source for nonpartisan election information. Throughout our history, we have produced and distributed nonpartisan educational materials, funded activities promoting citizen responsibility in the democratic process, and facilitated communication between citizens and our government officials. Our vote411.org website is a terrific source of voter information. There you go. So you can just key in your address to see all the information about any upcoming elections in your neighborhood. We design the questions that are asked of each candidate and ask that they each respond. You can click on any two candidates to compare and contrast their answers. You can print a sample ballot marked with your choices, change your address, amend your party affiliation, and check that your registration is up to date. And I know you can also do that on our DC Board of Election website, so people can find this information easily on several different avenues. Each voter has the same voice as the next. Wealthy or poor, black or white, wherever you live in the city, your vote counts. Voting is a cornerstone of our democracy. We cannot afford to take this responsibility lightly. The League of Women Voters of DC is proud to work with our Board of Elections, and now with Nextdoor, to reach every corner of our district as we make sure every citizen votes. we're happy to join you at any block parties, church festivals, other neighborhood events, and help register voters. And we love having the Board of Elections with us as we do. We go to the naturalization ceremonies, and it's just been a terrific partnership. So we welcome Nextdoor to that as well.
Thank you.
I just want to know, we want to invite everybody out there to our League of Women Voters Forum on Saturday, September 15th, which we held in conjunction with Metropolitan AME Church, which is located at 16th Street Northwest. It'll be at 1 o'clock. So please come out. It's a forum that we've been working very, very hard on, and we want the city to come out because we want DC to have the #1 rating for voters in America. Don't laugh, but we're gonna have it, because we'll need it for stabling. So come on out, let us know about those block parties, let us know what's going on at your churches, your mosques, and different organizations. Don't forget, put it on vote 411. Thank you. And another thing, thank you to the staff here. I see a lot of you here today. I've been working with you over 10 years, and this is a very able staff. So, thank you very, very much.
Amen. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts relative to that? This is just a great opportunity. I just learned about this, and the staff told me about it a few weeks ago. I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to give us opportunity to do things we haven't had a chance to do before. Any comments, thoughts, questions? If not, then should we close out?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.